Hey everyone, top 5 and top 10 videos seem to be all the rage on YouTube, and I am more than happy to oblige. These are the top 5 things that I love about my 2023 Super Duty, in this case an STX with 7.3 liter gas. So, starting out first and foremost, the updated calibration with the 485 foot-pounds torque. I haven't driven the previous 7.3, which I'm sure it was good too. I mean, it's only a slight bump. You're talking 10 foot-pounds, it's not a crazy amount, but I really like the way that this truck drives. It has tons of torque down low. The way that they calibrated this engine is extremely logical. It drives nice. The transmission shifts well. The only complaint I got from a buddy who I tuned his Chevy, and it's tuned for his personality, and you know, mine too. I like a 6.0 that really screams. This truck does tend to hold gears, so when you're accelerating at lower throttle, you're throwing up upshifts really quickly, and if you step on it a little bit just to get going a little quicker, it just lets you use the torque and holds the gear instead of throws down a bunch of downshifts. Now, I don't mind that because really I'm just enjoying my truck as it is. It's not a high performance truck. I don't want it to be. I do really love this truck, and if you could let me dream for just a minute in regards to that, I've already gone off on a tangent, but just hear me out. Whipple supercharger, Carly, whatever the top Carly kit is, pin top, whatever the heck their Dominator, whatever their top one is for this truck, on 40s with bead locks. That would be the ideal future for a truck. The problem is this is my work truck, and I'm not doing that right now. But if things were to change in the future, I did kind of have that in the back of my mind that this truck could someday become a really fun toy with the 7.3 in there. Factory manifolds look a lot more like short tubes than they do manifolds. They're definitely not logs. Ford did a really nice job on this motor. It drives nice. It's really, and someone is going to say it's not a motor because it's not electric. I know that. I got it. Okay, it's a hybrid. It starts with a 12-volt battery. Okay, let's just get all the pissing people off out of the way. So that calibration with 7.3 really works well. I got 4,200 pounds behind me right now. It's empty right this second. Going to pick up some rocks for my buddy and deliver him to his new pad that we made at his house. Actually, it's crushed asphalt, but rock nonetheless. So number 1 is definitely that calibration. Love this truck, love the way it drives, love that a lot. Number two are these sweet looking 20-inch wheels. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not a 20-inch wheel fan. I like 17 by 8.5s because that's just the way that's just what I like. But I'll tell you what, and these do have brake dust on them. I'm not even pretending for a second that they're clean. This is my work truck. Goes everywhere. I haven't washed it yet. So she is in the condition that she's in. But I love these wheels and tires. I love the tires too. These Bridgestone Dueler ATs. They seem to work really well in all conditions. We're going to see how they do in the snow. But man, those black caps with these kind of gunmetal gray finish on the wheels, I just think they look awesome. What do you guys think? Looks good with my black toolbox, and we'll get to the steps in a minute. I just love the way that this truck looks. Literally just the way it is. Black handles, black mirrors, black mirror caps. Just like it, just how it is. So that was number 2, are the wheels. Number 3, let me make sure that I stay in order here. The more aggressive front end look. Now, I'll be honest with you right now, I don't really love the wannabe Audi C headlights. Never been a big fan of the brackets. However, I do like how this looks, especially with the cab lights accenting it. But what I do really like is how tough these new hoods look. Look at that. Look at that jump. These new front ends look as tough as my 2019 did. I think in 2020 to 2022, they looked a little soft. They look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit like a cat eye. They looked a little bit cat eye like. I like how we've gone back to, I'm a fan of the 0102 high hoods. I'm not going to lie, Chevys. 0102 high hoods are my favorite Chevy truck besides a square body Suburban. Big fan of square body Suburban. Someday I will build a 540 cubic inch square body Suburban with a ZF6 and probably an Atlas and a lot of lift and big tires. So someday I'll build that. That's kind of my dream Chevy. But I like Chevy high hoods. I think that this front end has a really Chevy high hood look. And man, do I love the Chevy high hood. So, love that. And it is just pouring. So now we're going to move on to the most controversial part of these new trucks. I love that step. because the ground is muddy, it is pouring here in Michigan. I don't even know what the deal is. This thing is built right. We have big hunks of steel in here to hold us on. I can step on it, doesn't bend. No worries, it's rock solid. And I like the way it breaks up the side. It gives it a really nice look, in my opinion. I love it. So in the real world, it's my truck. I own it, and I love it. Some people who don't own these guys or these step trucks, they don't like them. All I know is Ford executed this really, really well. That step is really strong. And when you have a toolbox and you're stepping, boom, boom, go reach and get something in the middle of the toolbox, you will appreciate those steps, let me tell you. Love those. I'll back up a little bit to the rear bumper. I really like these steps too. They're not quite as, I mean, they're tough. I'm moving the whole dang truck and they're not bending, but they're not quite as impressive as those. Those are beasts. You get a little handle right here. Truck bed's dirty, sorry. I'm sure there's some scary stuff in that bucket. Get a little handle right here, which is really cool. Dig that. It's just a really slick setup. I've used this quite a few times when you get a trailer on the back, and let's say you have a trailer that you can't drop tailgate with. I can drop the tailgate on this with this truck. With this trailer, I mean. But other trailers, maybe you can't drop tailgate. I think that is a very, very sweet feature. So that was number 4. We're going to move on to number 5, and this is the most important one. Ford, thank you for fixing the trailer hitch. I believe that this is the first model year for this new trailer hitch setup that bows out a little bit. So you can put a hook on here without any trouble. And they also have little eyes. You'll see on the other side. I'm using the other side, but for my breakaway cable, they have little eyelets in here to shove that through here. It comes around here, around the bottom, whatever. This is a very well executed trailer hitch and long awaited. It's very strong. They haven't gotten rid of the strength. The previous setup that Chevy and Ford used with these really protected eyelets is very, very strong. You can put a toe strap on there with an eyelet, and you can pull real hard. These are super duper strong, and obviously if you ever had a trailer breakaway, you're not going to have really that much load on these chains because the trailer's in theory rolling. So let's say you had 14,000 pounds behind you and the trailer jumps off the hitch. You're not going to have 14,000 pounds on these. You figure you might pull, I don't know. What do you guys think? Quarter of a G. So you're talking a quarter of 14,000 pounds of load on these. It's not, it doesn't need to be crazy strong, but I really like that they're crazy strong because for me, the alternative use for this is pulling vehicles out in the wintertime. What I do is I wrap a tow strap around the hitch ball. I probably wouldn't use it. Well, it doesn't really matter. I come in with a strap, wrap around, say, the shank portion right here, so the 2 hitch balls would be preventing it from sliding. And then I dead end it to here with a D-ring. And by doing that, you're distributing the load of the strap onto the pin, onto the receiver, because when you're pulling at an angle, you're taking some load off the pin, and also you're putting it down here into the hitch area, and it is stupid strong. You're never going to have a problem with that. So, love this hitch. I think that this is, I saved the best for last. This is a really, really nice upgrade for those of us who tow with big hooks. Now, granted, I'm surprised this trailer doesn't have as big of hooks. I got trailers with bigger hooks. I'm sure they're adequate. They don't need to be crazy big. I want to do 2 honorable mentions. One honorable mention is the trailer brake controller on this truck seems to have a lot more power than I had in my 2019. I run a lot lower, what is it called? Gain setting with this trailer and with the equipment trailer. So I really, really like that. Seems to be ample power coming out of that thing. Really like that. My truck did not come with a Goose Neck prep. I paid extra for that on my 2019, and I don't own a Goose Neck trailer, and I don't own a fifth wheel. And if I did own a camper, I would own a Goose Neck. I would get a Goose Neck a Goose box for it because I don't really care for fifth wheels. I don't want a giant hitch in here, and I just don't really like them. I would much rather have the positive locking onto the ball of Goose Neck. And I'm pretty sure if I did ever venture out and get a camper, I'm not sure that I go with the fifth wheel route. I'd probably go with a really big tow behind, so that way I could use my bed for things. It'd be a lot better for going going camping when you're bringing stuff, your kayak, your quad, or your whatever, maybe not snowmobile with a camper, but or go hunting. Bring all your hunting gear in the bed of the truck. Even if you got a toy hauler, you're still going to fill that up. Most fifth wheels only have maybe an 11 or 13 foot garage, and your interior clearance is what, 7 foot wide. You don't really have that much space. Think about if you had behind you a 11 foot by 7 foot enclosed trailer, and think about how fast that would fill up with stuff. Unless you had shelving in it to organize it. So anyway, I didn't get a hitch for this, so I can't speak to the brake controller's functionality in the bed, in terms of how much power it puts out. If I ever get a Goose Neck in the future, I will have an aftermarket Goose Neck setup put into here. But until I get a Goose Neck and need it, I'm not going to spend the money to do it. This truck does have the LED bed lights, which I do like, though I usually have a headlamp with me if it's really that dark and I'm actually doing things outdoors. So I didn't really use them that much in my prior truck, and I don't really use them that much in this, but those are nice too. So I've already gone off on tangent. Second honorable mention is these Tremor steps. Now, the reason I didn't put them in the main list is because these, I believe, came out in 2020 with the Tremor. I really like these. They feel like a cast aluminum product. They are extremely strong. I mean, I'm pushing on it and the whole truck is, can you see that? Whole truck's moving and they're not. They have a really, really textured paint on them. They have a really nice finish on them that hasn't had any trouble yet. Now, they are not rock sliders, so you wouldn't want to drop the truck on them, but I'm pretty sure they can handle a bump, and they will definitely protect your truck in a parking lot. As you can see, they stick out past the side of the truck, which means if someone in a car or a lesser truck, a Chevy, pulls up next to you and opens up their door is going to hit the step bar instead of the side of your truck. So I think that's pretty slick. I like how high they are. We're not really giving up very much ground clearance. In fact, our radius arm hangs down below, and the drive shaft, and looks like, yep, the rear frame rail with the leaf spring eye is also hanging down below them. So it is not the lowest point of the truck. Yeah. So now we've given you 12 and a half minutes of what are my favorite things about a 2023, or the top 5 favorite things that I like about my truck. This again is a 2023 STX F350. Has 4,340 pounds of payload. This configuration is rated to tow 18,000 pounds in a conventional hitch, and I think it's 18,000 pounds of Goose Neck and fifth wheel too. Let's see here, 430 horsepower, 485 foot-pounds of torque. Has a really nice power band from idle all the way up. You get your torque at the bottom, you get your mid-range horsepower, and you get your top-end horsepower. It's kind of the best of all the worlds. They did a nice job. To do that, they had to pair the heads and the camshaft extremely well to the engine's displacement. They did a really good job. If you wanted to build this engine, say from a 385 series Ford big block, you'd be in aluminum heads, really nice valves, a very well-matched camshaft, nice bottom end. By that, I mean balance. This engine is really smooth. It's just a great, really nice product. So I really like it. I do like Ford trucks, but at the same time, I'm out for a good truck, and he's still pouring on me. I'm here for a good truck. I would never say that it was good if it wasn't, and I really like it. So if you guys are in the market for one, I would say that this is a relatively glowing review, short of if I send a rod out the bottom, wipe the camshaft, or blow up the trans. Those would be the 3 things that would piss me off the most. I know I'm not going to blow up a front end, and I don't think I'm going to blow up the new rear end. It's been really nice. It is a little bit more clunky than my Sterling 10.5, but anytime you go up in part size, you're inherently going to get more clearance or lash in between the gears when you're going from forward to reverse or park or whatever. I can hear the rear axle a bit more than I'm used to in my 10.5, but I'm not particularly worried about the rear end. So basically, if the motor stays together, transmission stays together, I'll be one happy boy. So far, I haven't had too many problems. I had a couple weird things with the dashboard that I found out if you leave the door open, it'll reset your trip computer. It almost seems like it's doing like a hard shut off, like if your door switch failed and it hard shut off the computer. That's not cool, but if you just keep your door shut when you get out of it for an extended period of time, you're going to remedy that problem. I haven't had any trouble. I don't have adaptive steering or automatic wipers. I do have automatic headlights. I like the automatic headlight setup in this. So I guess some extra information that you guys have learned along the way. We got 4,500 miles on this truck. So you could call this a impromptu 4,500 mile review plus top 5 things I like about my 2023 Plus Super Duty. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice day. Remember to like, subscribe. I'd appreciate to see you guys back here. I do have some audience retention, but I definitely have more new viewers than I do returning viewers. So I'd appreciate if you guys hit subscribe, follow back up, and if you like the videos, leave a comment. Have a great day. Bye-bye.